Good morning. Happy Thursday, PASW staff, clients, and friends joining us. Just one more day till Friday, and then made it through another great week. We looked at Offenbach yesterday, and I apologize for the way he looks. Not the most fortunate appearance, but it's not about appearance in this. It's about the work and the artist's work. So that was so much fun with the can. Hope you enjoyed that. Okay, so last week we looked at the Hollywood Tower, right? So today we're going to look at another tower. Lest you think this is just a tower class, and it's not Tower Records, which probably is an old reference now. It's going to be another tower. We're going to look at the tallest building in Los Angeles. Not technically, but in my mind it is. In our mind for this class it should be, because, well, we'll talk about that. But it's our LA class. We're going to have fun. We're going to relax. We're going to groove along. And today we're going to be looking at the Library Tower.
You ought to be in pictures. Gee, you're beautiful to see. Say you ought to be in pictures. Oh, what a hit you would be.
So it's called the U.S. Bank Tower. People call it the Library Tower because it was built in support of the library across the street, the LA Public Library that we did a class on a few weeks ago. Remember that horrible fire in 1986 that started, and they needed funds, to create, to save it all. So part of this was to build the building right across the street from it. So we're talking about West 5th Street, and really this building is right across from the library. So it's a 1,000-foot skyscraper right in downtown. You've seen this. This is the one that sticks out. Very classy building. Looks like it's kind of been there for a long time, but really constructed in 1987, built in 1989. It's weird to think. I mean, I don't even have a timeline ready because, as we know, 89 is way past all of downtown's development. I mean, even though it's still being developed today. You know what I mean? This isn't an old building at all. I mean, I was alive when they constructed this. And one thing I was thinking about, because when you're thinking about early downtown being settled, the Tongva people, the Union Station, all of the development, the Arroyo Seco, all of that stuff, you think about, well, if the beach was 12 miles away, why wasn't downtown LA founded near the beach? And some historians have cited it's a water issue because there's salt water at the beach, because many cities are, you would think villages and all of those things would begin at the beach, but it's not, because the LA River and the Arroyo Seco, that was fresh water. So that's why downtown's built close to the LA River as opposed to the ocean. So I thought I'd share that, just because when I read it, I was like, yeah, you would think you'd start a city near the ocean, but we didn't. So this is part of the downtown skyscrapers, right? So Library Tower, because it was part of a $1 billion project that the LA Central Library needed to redevelop. That Bradley wing that beautiful atrium was added after that. And so we also they lifted the air rights to it, because, there's all these rights that you can't build a certain amount, height restrictions that we talked about. That's why City Hall was the tallest building, and we'll get into that a little bit. But they were like, okay, fine, you can build. The library needs help, so you can build as high as you want, or something like that. So this was to pay for the reconstruction. So City Hall from 1928 till 1964, was the tallest building in Los Angeles. That sticks out for close to 4 decades. It was like that until the 60s. So it's the tallest building in Los Angeles by the roof standard. I don't like this, because the Wilshire Grand is technically the tallest building in Los Angeles, and I don't think we're going to like this. This is cheating, because they built a building not as high as this, but what they did was that the spire, a little spire that goes up, measures about 300 feet. And so it's kind of like cheating a race. So it's not taller, but that spire makes it technically the tallest building in LA. I don't know if I like that. Do you guys like that? It seems like kind of a cheat. So technically we're talking about the second tallest building in LA, but come on, let's be real. Architecture is they call it postmodern architecture. Postmodern is a fancy word meaning beyond modern, right? Post. And postmodern is sometimes described as a contradiction of styles, whether it's music, literature, art. You can call it postmodern, and the main emphasis of postmodernism is to contradict one another, to have many things that where reality is vague. Okay, so we'll talk about postmodernism a little bit, but so with something like that, there's gonna be Art Deco. It's kind of like a bunch of styles that don't really make sense, but make sense sometimes. So there's Art Deco imagery, ornamentation, beautiful, a very classy structure. Henry N. Cobb was the architect for this, and these height restrictions went back to 1904. When they're like, you can't build anything higher than 150 feet, except City Hall was the exception in 1928, like we talked about. And this limited all non-government, because that was a government building, of course, all non-government buildings to 13 stories. And it was lifted downtown in 1957, probably because they're like, well, we need more money, so let's lift that. And I was thinking about that. Why restrict it? Well, many reasons could be aesthetic-wise. They didn't want it to look like a New York or a Chicago in the beginning. They wanted the views, the climate, all of these, the mountains, everything. They didn't want to crowd downtown to look like Manhattan. Easterners were coming to Los Angeles, not to come to a little second-rate New York city. They wanted, so that was it's kind of interesting that aesthetically that's why that law was intact for a while. So this consists of 73 stories, and then 2 parking levels down below, and like I said, construction 1987, done in 1989. Not as fast as the Eastern Columbian building, right? That took 9 months. I don't know how that happened. 1989. Not that long ago, right? Berlin Wall's the big thing that happens, which represents the end of communism, right? Even though there's still communism in China and all that stuff, but I'm not a history professor. So, and then technology, 1989, 486 series of microprocessors released by Intel, Intel computers. This is the next generation for PCs because this has the Office suite. This is the first word processor, presentation software, all that Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, all those things start coming in this year. Of course, this is because huge, everyone uses Word, Excel. So 89 is when this package is released by Microsoft, the Office suite that we still use so much today. Some morbid history. I guess the 9/11 Commission said in 2004 that the original plan for the 9/11 attacks, on the World Trade Center, called for the hijacking of 10 planes, and one of which was to crash into this building. So thank God that didn't happen. We always think, what were all the other possibilities that they had plans in mind? And thank God they didn't attack this, but this was on Al Qaeda's list. Inside, it's all pure office buildings. No hotels, or there was an observation deck. There was this little slide, that happened in 2016, where kind of like this little multi-level observatory opened, where you could get like a panoramic view. I really wanted to do it, but they took that away. The tower's 69th and 70th floor were renovated for that observation deck, but they did away with it. So it's cool because the peak of the tower is a helipad. It's not a bad word. It's just that a helicopter can land on it. Never seen a helicopter land on it, but that would be very cool to see. So it's got that solid strength that a helicopter can do, which you can't do on the Wilshire Grand because you can't land on a spire, of course. This is supposed to withstand a earthquake 8.3, so that's pretty good because we don't want it to fall down and stuff. Of course, it's been used, on Independence Day, and a lot of other video games and movies, because it's just such a classy building. I love this building, don't you? I mean, it's really handsome, slim, standing tall and pretty right in the middle of this town. You love, I love, Lloyd loves. Okay, stop. I just keep doing that. But I really love LA, and it's a pleasure sharing some of these things with you. So hope you enjoyed the library tower. It's there. I'd say field trip, but I don't think they'd let us up there. So it's all just office buildings, but that's okay. Okay, tomorrow, film scoring results for Gone with the Wind, right? Can't wait to show you that. Love you, and see you tomorrow.